Welcome to episode number 211 of the Beyond Social Media Show, the podcast for all of you marketing, advertising, public relations, and communications professionals. We're recording live on YouTube on November 30th, 2017. A lot of things to talk about this week, as usual. The topics include automated suicide prevention, Facebook knows who you know, subscribable Insta tags, affordable fire hose, Bloomberg's Twitter TV, audience filters, Loveable metal, Spotify traps Soundtrap, sharing things, 6-second Dilly, play the game, get the girl, defining selfies. And before we start, I am solo today. My friend and co-host BL OCHMAN is rehabbing from a scary accident. She suffered some broken bones, but she's on the mend. But I expect her to return in a couple of weeks after she's done rehabbing. Until then, you can send her get well wishes by emailing me at david@bsmediashow.com. I'll pass them along to her. Until then, you've got me solo. And I'll kick it off with the best. BL usually has those honors, but I get them this week. Facebook. Facebook has an AI that is recognizing indications of when people may be suicidal. This is from a Fast Company article by Danielle Turdeman. So according to the World Health Organization, there's a suicide somewhere on Earth every 40 seconds. And it's the second leading cause of death for people aged 15 to 29. Clearly a problem. Well, it has been for a long, long time, and has been long before social media. But now we have social media that may give some indications of when people are on the verge of committing suicide. There have been several instances in the past of people committing suicide on Facebook Live. We've talked about Facebook Live and some of the problems, among them this one, that it has had in past episodes. So Facebook bans posts or videos that promote suicide or self-injury or encourage others to do so or kill themselves, but it does allow users to post posts or videos expressing their own suicidal intentions. There's a quote in the article by Monica Bickert, who's the head of global product policy, who says there's a tremendous potential benefit there. They have a way to engage with their community. They're feeling alone, and suddenly they're not alone. They're connecting to people who love them. So clearly, yes, there is an obvious benefit for that. But that creates signals there so that Facebook's AI can mine and try and discover and identify. So they've rolled out some artificial intelligence tools that proactively identify posts indicating suicidal intent on behalf of the user. These tools will analyze both the text of the posts and live video, and that's significant because video is pretty hard to analyze, much harder than text, because the language processing for text has gotten very good over the years, and video is relatively new to analyzing. So anyway, in the past month, Facebook's AI has identified more than 100 instances worldwide that required intervention by first responders. These posts have been escalated to first responders twice as fast as those that are reported by Facebook users themselves. So AI identifies signals in the newsfeed posts or live videos that suggest someone might be in danger of harming themselves, or that users are concerned about someone else's suicidal intentions, such as a family or friend, a family member or friend. So among the signals are the comments that someone might leave on a post or a live video suggesting they're worried about a friend. Similarly, Facebook's AI tools look for texts in posts like, I want to die, I'm going to kill myself, I'm ready to kill myself, I hate my life and I want to die. On many posts like this, there's comments from friends or family calling out, are you okay? Can I help you? So those are signals as well that the AI can identify. For live video, the system looks for similar types of comments from viewers as the stream progresses. In some cases, Facebook's AI has surfaced videos of people threatening self-harm that were never reported by users. When the system identifies these posts, it automatically sends them to community operations team where they get a priority for review. And obviously speed is of the essence when working on these types of posts. Context also is important. A person might say something like, if I get an F on my test, I'm going to kill myself, simply by way of being melodramatic with not really having any intent to do themselves harm. So understanding that context is important. Facebook reviewers examine not just the post flagged by the AI system, but also surrounding posts to get more context, to see if other surrounding posts indicate some intention to harm themselves. For the flagged live videos, reviewers need to figure out where in the video the streamer intended to or indicated intention to harm themselves, and they need to do so quickly. So the community operation team members have the ability to pull up two screens. One, they have the flagged video, and they can see visual cues indicating moments where there is an increase in comments, such as might be the case when somebody says they're going to harm themselves, and the commenters, the people watching the live stream, would comment in reaction to that. On the other screen, they can quickly pull up videos by the same person to see if there's additional posts demonstrating suicidal ideation. So very interesting use of AI, very a salutary use of AI there for Facebook. So we'll see how that works out. Another Facebook story. This one is in best because it is a fascinating and very well done story in and of itself. It gives you an illustration and an insight into why Facebook is so powerful, but on the other hand, it could be in worse because it'll probably freak you out a little bit. So anyway, this is from a Gizmodo post by Kashmir Hill. So anybody who has been on Facebook has likely been struck at how spooky good Facebook is at knowing who you know or who you should know. There's a Facebook profile that you have created yourself. Everybody who joins creates their own Facebook profile. But there's another one that most people don't know about. It's a Facebook shadow profile. So your shadow profile, all of us have them. Your shadow profile is built from the inboxes and smartphones of other Facebook users. Facebook culls contact information that you've never given to the network, but gets it from other users who are associated with your account. It makes it easier for Facebook to completely map your social connections. So one of the first steps Facebook asks when you open up an account is to upload your address book. And that is so that you can find friends, right? Facebook's smartphone app invites users to see who's on Facebook by continuously uploading your contacts. So this fact of people uploading contacts with all the information that's in your contact address book creates a shadow profile. The fine print below the Get Started button states that info about your contacts will be sent to Facebook to help you and others find friends faster. So that's the benefit that you get by uploading your address book. But when you click on Learn More, there's additional language that says, when you choose to find friends on Facebook, we'll use and securely store information about your contacts, and I'm emphasizing here, including things like names and any nicknames, contact photo, phone numbers, and other contact or related information you may have added, like relation or profession, as well as data on your phone about those contacts. So this information helps Facebook make recommendations for you, and others, helps us build a better service, end quote. So the accumulation of all that contact data from hundreds of people that you may have been in contact with, not necessarily on Facebook, Facebook probably knows. So from all that information, they probably know every address you've ever lived at, every email you've ever used, every landline or cell phone you've been associated with, all of your nicknames, any social network profiles associated with you, all of your former instant message accounts, anything else you might have added, someone might have added to you about in their phone book. So take a look at your Google contacts or your Outlook contacts and just go peruse through them and see how much information is there are in those contacts of people that you have been in contact with over the years, and you'll get an idea of the type of information that Facebook has access to when people upload their address book. And you think about it, all of those are connections that Facebook can draw to find relationships between people. So Facebook is trying to connect as many people as possible in as many ways as possible. And it's so good at it and has so many users that last year Facebook announced it's not just 6 degrees that separate one person from another, it's 3.5. So Facebook can go beyond simply matching you directly with someone else who has your contact information. It can do something called contact chaining. So this is when 2 different people both have an email address or phone number for you in their contact information. And that indicates that they could possibly know each other too. It doesn't even have to be an address or a phone number that you personally told Facebook about. So this is really how big data and machine learning works. It sifts through vast troves of information, finds commonalities among that information, makes assumptions about those commonalities, and then finally validates those assumptions. This is also why Facebook has the most sophisticated advertising platform ever created. Wow. Doing a solo podcast, I need some water. All right, so the next story. Instagram, owned by Facebook, of course. Instagram is rolling out a new feature. This is according to a TechCrunch article by Romain Dilly. And some Instagram users can now search for hashtags and follow them. So doing so will allow you to see top posts and recent stories that use that hashtag. For me, it's a welcome feature because I think that Instagram has long had a discovery problem. It's much too hard to discover content on Instagram. Part of that, I think, is due to the design of the app. Part of it is due to the fact that there's comparatively little text to search. So using the search function in Instagram doesn't really help a great deal because most of it is visual content, and people don't leave a lot of text in their posts. So allowing you to follow the hashtags will help with discovery of content you like based on generic hashtags, or of obviously brand-related content. If it's more important now for brands to own their hashtags or have branded related hashtags that they use frequently for their Facebook accounts. Twitter news. Twitter, this is from a Recode article by Kurt Wagner. So one revenue stream for Twitter is the fee they charge for access to their fire hose of data. So the fire hose of the Twitter's fire hose is all of the data that goes through Twitter based on user behavior. So tweets that people, links that people share, text that's in tweets, hashtags, all of that stuff. Data Twitter provides for licensing. So their data licensing made up roughly $87 million of Twitter's revenue last quarter. That's about 15% of the company's business. And a year ago, it was 11.5%. So a significant percentage of the company's revenue, and they're looking at ways to grow that revenue. So unless you work for an agency like I do or a large corporation, you likely can't justify the costs of social listening tools that have access to Twitter's firehose of data, but that appears to be changing because they've announced a new version of its Search Tweets API, or the data set that includes the searchable database of users' posts. Twitter will sell access for 30 days worth of tweets for as little as $149 a month. So Twitter's current offerings include free access for 7 days worth of tweets, or you can buy the entire historical archive for $1,000 per year. If you subscribe to a social listening tool like we do at my agency, then you get that as part of the tool. But Twitter plans to roll out many more cheaper versions of some of their more expensive data APIs soon. So that's definitely a welcome development. Giving people more access to that data will allow smaller businesses and individuals to gain the insights that many of us agencies and larger companies have. On to more Twitter news. This is from an Axio story by Sarah Fisher about Bloomberg. So Bloomberg is launching a live news network on social media, and that social media channel is Twitter. The new network will launch on Twitter on December 18 with 6 founding partners: Goldman Sachs, Infinity, TD Ameritrade, CA Technologies, AT&T, and CME Group, and there are more in the works. The average price point for these partnerships is $1.5 to $3 million. So Bloomberg has already secured figures in revenue its first year. It'll be a 24-hour social news network on Twitter. You may know of Cheddar, similar financial-related Twitter-only news channel, but that airs weekdays 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. So this Bloomberg channel will be 24 hours, basically a cable news network on Twitter. Bloomberg is hiring about 50 people to staff the project. I'm going to be fascinated to see how this develops, and definitely for all you PR professionals, another channel you'll need to pay attention to. Snap. This is from a Marketing Land article by Tim Peterson. Snap has introduced an alternative to its sponsored geo filters ad format. So the geo filters are the filters you can overlay, users can overlay on their snaps that are geographically constrained. Draw a geofence around a particular area, and only people who are within that geographic area can use these filters. But these are an alternative called audience filters. Audience filters can be targeted to specific audiences regardless of location. You can buy them through Snap's updated self-serve ad buying tool called the Ads Manager, appropriately enough. Cosmetically, they're the same as sponsored geo filters. Both are branded overlays that people can apply to their snaps. They send in private messages or upload to their public stories. While the sponsored geo filters are aimed at people in specific locations, airport, concert venue, brick and mortar store, audience filters can be targeted based on people's age, gender, language, the type of device they're using, and lifestyle categories, which are interest-based categories that are compiled by Snapchat according to the content people view in the app. The filters can also be targeted by location, though at a much broader level than the sponsored geo filters. So instead of setting up pinpoint geo fences, brands can aim audience filters at people nationwide or zoom to certain regions. Those include states, metro areas, or zip codes. But my question is, why can't you do both geofencing and audience profile? So you get both the best of both worlds, very specific geographic location coupled with the demographic audience profile. Maybe they just don't see them making enough ad dollars in volume by doing so. That's my first guess. But first, Snapchat will sell audience filters through its ad manager tool. Second, Snapchat will sell these filters through its ad auction. And third, the advertising will be based on bids people actually using the audience filters. Snapchat is rolling out a goal-based bidding option for audience filter campaigns. Brands will be asked how much they are willing to pay for each time someone posts a snap that features a filter, either in a private message or in a story. Then Snapchat will try and insert the brand filter in the filter galleries of people deemed most likely to apply it to a snap. How they know that, I don't particularly, it doesn't say, but this is as opposed to people who might simply play with a filter privately but never share it with anyone else. The Snap Ads Manager is consolidating. So the Snap Publisher ad creation tool, the Business Manager account management tool, and the advanced mode, which caters to brands looking for more powerful tools to manage and analyze their campaigns, are being consolidated under one tool. The unification obviously makes it easier to access the ad tools, also makes it more likely that advertisers are going to be aware of them, and officially rolling out online training program, Snap is, called Snapchat Explore. And this is for small and medium-sized businesses to learn the ins and outs of advertising in its app. It's nice to see that Snap is developing and broadening out its advertising tools. It's been a long time coming. They've been slow to jump on that bandwagon, but highly needed. It looks like their shift in focus from trying to sell very expensive advertising to making the self-serve tool that a lot more people can afford might help generate more revenue for them, because they haven't been having much success lately. All right, on to better topics. Music. Let me get some more water here. This is a wonderful article on a topic close to my heart by Quartz' Amy Wang. Heavy metal, which I have a soft spot in my heart for. I used to play it in bands. It's very fun to play on the guitar. Anyway, heavy metal has the most loyal fans of any musical genres. Bands like Black Sabbath, as my Czech friend would say, Rainbow, Judas Priest, Def Leppard. According to Spotify data, analyzing the genres with the highest global loyalty, they measure this by the number of streams divided by the number of listeners per artist. Metal is the number one by far on the list, out of genres like hip hop, country, and rock by as much as 50%. In the US alone, metal has about twice as much listener loyalty as electronic dance music, rap, or jazz. The methodology of this, of how they arrived at this, is broken out in a Spotify post by Elliot Van Buskirk. So they first identified the core artists that, according to the Echo Nest, which is part of Spotify, are most central to each genre, starting with the big ones on a global level. Then they did the same thing with local genres in various countries around the globe. And to create a measure of genre loyalty, they divided the number of streams, as I said, with each core artist had by the number of listeners. This post includes charts by country. All the charts are normalized against the genre with the loyalist fans, and listener genre loyalty broken up by country charts. It's a bunch of charts, so take a look at them. We'll have a link in the show notes. But within that post, they link to those genres within Spotify itself. So smart marketing in their blog post itself too. More Spotify news, this time in acquisitions. This is from an Engadget article by Swapna Krishna. So Spotify has been expanding recently, acquiring companies to serve their customers better. Earlier this year, they got a streaming service called Mighty TV to improve its content recommendations. They purchased a blockchain startup Media Chain Labs, and now they've announced that they have acquired Soundtrap. And Soundtrap's a Swedish startup that allows for the creation of music in an online collaborative recording and production studio. It's an interesting and smart acquisition. So Spotify, I think, it appears, wants to be the virtual music label. With that, if they're successful at it, they'll get first dibs on new talent. They'll have a marketplace for matching artists with fans. They have the data to do that very effectively. In episode number 207, we discussed how Spotify's Discover Weekly algorithm works at matching users to the music they'd like. So they've already got the algorithm built in to effectively match up artists with the types of fans that would like their music. And finally, with this acquisition, they can collect data on sound trends based on what people are recording. So based on the wave files, basically, on what people are recording, they can use machine learning to anticipate new musical tastes based on what artists are creating. It's a pretty brilliant idea. All right, on to more entertainment-related stuff. I came across this the other day. Very, very good. So I just finished binge watching Stranger Things 2 over Thanksgiving Day weekend. And if you're the fan of the show, as I am, you'll love this next one. The Sesame Street has culture-jacked Stranger Things 2 with a parody video. It's titled Sharing Things. It opens with the Cookie Monster in a wasted environment with a waffle iron in the background. Nice touch. He proclaims, "Me ate all the food in snack side down. Me want more food. Me so hungry." And it goes on from there for 6 minutes, full of Stranger Thing parody for the adults and a lesson in sharing for the kids. So very, very well, Sesame Street. Finally, in Best, another video, this time an ad. Excuse me. You've no doubt seen Bud Light's Dilly Dilly ads. They're set in a medieval Game of Thrones environment. Citizens bring gifts to the king, and if the gift pleases the king, the courtesans cheer by saying Dilly Dilly, and not coincidentally, gifts of Bud Light are pleasing. If the gift displeases the king, like, say, honeymead wine, the gift bearer is shown to the pit of misery. The ad's been running in heavy rotation. And relatedly, the infamous 6-second ad you've probably heard about ran during the NFL games on Thanksgiving. There was a YouTube ad that promoted live sports, but it only shows college football clips, so it doesn't look like they've got the NFL on YouTube TV. There's a Duracell ad that said simply, "Trust is power, #1 trusted brand." And then the Bud Light had a 6-second ad with a citizen in the pit of misery sitting in a cage passing bottles of Bud Light to fellow pit of misereans. I thought it was very clever use of the format. While others used the space for straight-up branding, Bud Light extended their storyline of their commercial using the 6-second format. So very clever. Yesterday, too, relatedly, I got an email from a local Minneapolis craft brewery called Modest Brewing, and it announced the release of Dilly Dilly Mosaic Double IPA. Very smart, drafting off the awareness of Bud Light that Bud Light is building through the commercials, and it was a clever answer to the implied ridicule the Bud Light ad heaps on craft brew fans. So we'll have links to all of these videos in the show notes, or embed them on the show notes so you can watch them at BeyondSocialMediaShow.com/211. On to the worst news of the week. Of course, the worst news of the week is BL's unfortunate accident. So please send your best wishes to her via me. So send your best wishes to David at bsmediashow.com. I'll send them along to BL. And we do wish her to get well soon, because this is really hard doing a solo podcast without any breaks in between to sip my water. All right, worst. Beyond BL. This is there's a video game subscription service called Gamefly, and they're running a commercial that features a Wild West theme. It's narrated by a sexy cowgirl. It's a shootout at the OK Corral, but the shootout is a video game match between two guys, while sexy cowgirls look on. So Gamefly must think their ideal customer has never had a girlfriend, because everyone knows that women think playing video games is among the least appealing thing about guys. So big fail in that video, in that commercial, Gamefly. Anyway, the last worst story of the week is comes from Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton tweeted on November 19. She posted a tweet that read, 11 years ago today, me and Britney invented the selfie, ! Which was accompanied by a photo of her and Britney Spears, two celebrities posing for a photograph. Not a selfie. Not a selfie. Two people is a photograph. One person, selfie. This is not a selfie. Sorry, didn't invent the selfie. All right, on to shiny new stuff. Google Chatbase. This is from a TechCrunch article by Sarah Perez. Excuse me. Chatbase is basically Google Analytics for chatbots. It has publicly launched for everyone after testing with hundreds of early adopters, including Ticketmaster, HBO, Keller Williams, Viber, and others. Chatbase is a cloud service of tools to more easily analyze and optimize your chatbots. It gives bot builders the ability to understand what works and increase customer conversions, improve your bot's accuracy, and create a better user experience. And developers can track metrics like active users, sessions, user retention. You can compare the bot's metrics across platforms to see if some platforms need additional optimization. It integrates with any voice or text messaging platform, including Facebook, Kik, Viber, Slack, WhatsApp, WeChat, Alexa, Cortana, Allo.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Okay. Allo, Line, Skype, Twitter, and more. It leverages Google's machine learning capabilities to figure out what sorts of problems could be affecting your bot. It clusters user messages that aren't being handled and finds opportunities to answer more requests. And then it offers ways to optimize the bot for both problems. Includes auto-generated data visualization of conversation flows across sessions, so that lets developers see what common paths users take, where they exit the application. Has a funnel report that highlights these steps and shows success rates per step. It's a free service from Google, of course. Supports bot builders of any size, so whether you have one bot or hundreds of bots in operation, and integrates with Dialogflow, which is Google's free tool for designing bot conversations. The second cool tool this week is an ad mockup generator from AdParlor. So need to get approval for a client for social media ad creative, but you don't want to spend the time mocking up the ad using Facebook's ad manager, then you can use the ad mockup generator by AdParlor. It's a free tool for creating social media ad mockups for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. All right, brands need to experiment. This is a project. This is under projects, but this is an article that's quoted in by Lisa Lacey. The title is How Experimentation Keeps Brands Competitive, Even Against Players Like Google. The article is about how Google keeps expanding into other industry territories. The examples include food. They've added recipes to search results pages, music. They've added lyrics to search results. Travel, flight arrivals and departures are in search results now. And now they're imposing on recruiting with Google's new job search functionality. So the article asks, how do you capitalize on these changes? My answer is you optimize your job listings for visibility and search results using Google's structured data requirements, and think really hard about what Google knows about your customer's journey. I'll put a link to the article in the show notes so you can have the in-depth thoughts about how to capitalize on that. And this is, let's wrap it up this week with the daily numbers. And they are where consumers conduct product research online. Amazon, right? Not so fast. This is Kensho data from a big sample size of 3,000 plus consumers in, excuse me, in the US, the UK, Germany, and France. I'm just going to give you the US numbers. Where consumers conduct product research online, 84% of Americans go to Google. 71% go to Amazon, and then it drops significantly after that with the rest. So 31% for eBay, 37% for retailers' websites, 36% for Facebook, 24% for Pinterest, 20% go to Bing, 10% online magazines, 18% Instagram, 10% independent blogs, and 14% Twitter. So there you go. Know where people conduct product research and get your content in those channels so they can find you. Thank you for watching episode number 211 of the Beyond Social Media Show. We'll have links to everything that I talked about this week at BeyondSocialMediaShow.com/211. Let us know what you think by leaving us a review at BeyondSocialMediaShow.com/love. Find BL, my absent guest, co-host, on Twitter at What's Next. Her blog is whatsnextblog.com. She's on YouTube at What's Next Blog. I am on Twitter at D Erickson. My blog is E-Strategy Blog. I also blog for my agency's blog at creativepr.com/blog. On YouTube at eStrategy. You can find the show at BeyondSocialMediaShow.com. On YouTube, we're Beyond Social Media. On Google+, we're Beyond Social Media Show. On Twitter, we're at BS Media Show. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on Google Play Music. We're on iHeartRadio. Subscribe. The more people subscribe, the more likely we're going to get more visibility, so please do so. Share it with your friends. Tell your friends or your colleagues about the podcast. Just tell people about it. Help us out. Anyway, thanks for watching this week. Until next week, well, I'll see you next week.